And then on top of all this other stuff, Salt Lake City just had the okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Check your
That's a criteria. Have I got some plans? I could be safe with everybody.
You're gonna what?
I think that would probably hurt worse than the virus.
Well,
Maybe it should be yours.
you said everybody.
It's about 2 years I was having some kind of.
Well, I clarified that real quick.
Yeah, that was just feedback.
Okay, we're going to call this regular board meeting to order. We have a quorum. We have 4 people. We have a quorum. Let's stand for a moment of silence and reflection, especially during these trying times.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert?
School's been out for 2 weeks.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Still remember.
Okay, before we begin, I want to thank you for being here. And secondly, we made some changes to the agenda. And to explain, the agenda is proposed until the board actually starts the agenda. So what the changes that we made is that we will not be discussing Dickman Hall because that will remain closed. We are not going to discuss the ice machine because it's a low priority item. And the Garden Club requested that we remove their item from the agenda and schedule it at some future date. They didn't have all of their information ready and weren't quite sure whether they wanted to attend the meeting, which is entirely up to them. We're going to use the time to discuss the options and the measures that we're going to take to handle the COVID-19 issue here on Fort Clark Springs. Okay. So, board, we need to have a vote to change the agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
Move that we change the agenda to reflect the deletions and the one addition regarding COVID-19.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? Raise your hand one. Thank you. Okay, let's, first of all, first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the board meeting. Secretary, have any comments?
No.
Okay. Has anyone, has everyone read them? Any additions, deletions, changes? Okay. Motion to approve?
I move to approve the minutes from the last board meeting.
I second it. All those in favor? Okay, on to the secretary's report.
There were no correspondence in the box this morning. I had nothing through email that needs to be reported. However, Facebook Live has Facebook has changed for the association. Up until February 3rd, the association's Facebook did not allow for anyone to post other than the administrators, which was the previous board members. On February 3rd, when the previous board members removed themselves as admins and I was added as the sole admin, the posting was allowed by anyone that wanted to post. And that was okay in the beginning, but then we started having businesses, privately owned businesses, put real estate advertisements for their companies on the Facebook Association page. So at that point, we discussed through email and decided that our association page was not the proper place to promote individual businesses. So we went ahead and took the comments off the posting for everybody else. If the association has me post, or Julie is now the other admin, if we post something, you can comment on that post, but you can't add your own post in. Like, say you're having a garage sale at your home, you can't create a post for that.
So they still can post, I mean, they can still make comments of our,
They can still make comments unless we decide that every time we post something for that individual post, you want us to restrict comments.
because I thought it was just gonna be information purposes only.
So every time we post something, Julia and I post something, you want us to restrict comments for that post.
Well, not necessarily that, but on each post, if we can make like a stamp that says if you do need to make comments, you know, you can contact us through FCSA@fortclark.com or through our individual emails. It's supposed to promote the fort, and if we get negative comments, that's, you know, people, because Facebook's open to pretty much everybody. It's not a good look. It's a great vehicle, my personal opinion. I just think it should just be for informational, but we do want our members to be able to make comments to us, but we have a different vehicle for them to do that instead of the whole world.
Through email.
That's my opinion.
Right, and I agree with that.
And I agree. In fact, there was another reason that we were considering cutting off comments. And you want to explain without using names or?
Right, without it. There were some comments from members where they were personally attacking other members and calling them profane names on Facebook. And so I did have to remove a couple of those comments during the month and few days it was open. So I was constantly having to, I would have it open at school while I was doing my full-time job, and 3 or 4 times a day I would go over and read them, and if I found something that was very bad that I would not let my kids say in class, then I would go ahead and delete that post. And I'm sure some of y'all might have seen some of them that needed my attention that I didn't get to because I was working.
Any other comments on the Secretary's report? Okay. All right, Treasurer's report. We are still not a treasurer, but we do have, our audit is almost finalized. In fact, he was doing the final tweaks to it this week. We have been waiting for some information from outside parties. The P&L statements are in back if you want one. And those that did not want to attend the meeting today, if they're friends of yours, we'll have them available in up the admin office, adult center, you know, wherever, and if you want one, we'll get you one, okay? The February net income, as we did, our CPA did a summary sheet, and we asked him to break out or to show the depreciation and the bad debt expense in a different manner, because we do not pay anything into bad debt, we don't pay anything into depreciation, we don't take money out of bad debt, and we don't take money out of depreciation. These are accounting charges, and bad debt is determined by a percentage of our revenue, not by what people actually owe us. So we decided to do this so we could break out the cash amounts, the non-cash amounts. So the net income for February was $63,601.29, adding back in depreciation of $14,132.15 and bad debt expense of $22,860, gave us a net cash income of minus $26,609.14. The amount from October of 2019 to February of 2020, we had a net income of minus $78,993.16, adding back in depreciation, $66,699.23, and bad debt expense, $114,858, gives us a total plus net cash income of $102,564.07. And I have checked this bad debt depreciation thing multiple times with our CPA and our auditor, and they have both confirmed these are not cash expenses. These are accounting charges required by our American accounting system and the IRS. When you look through the profit and loss statement, there will be some corrections to this next month because of some confusion with the hunt expenses. We had 2 different codes used, and we're trying to figure out just what happened. So anyway, in talking to Matt, and Dustin's going to go into more information on the hunt, but in general, we usually make, he believes that we made about $82,000 this year and had about $4,500 in expenses, which is seed and so forth. So those will hopefully be on the next one with the correction. Okay. As of March 13th, 2020, and that is the latest of our daily balances, we will get another one on Monday. But in the Texas Community Bank, in our checking account, we had $59,735.68. Our credit card account was $48,517.63, and our money market account was $8,592.78. In our bank and trust funds, Las Morris had $86.97. The restricted fund had $335,248.90. Our general account had $19,597.34. Historical Society, our preservation had $18,225.53, and our tax account had $33,946.69. And, oh, I'm sorry, I gave you the 13th. I should have given you the 16th. Texas Community Checking, $59,735.68. Credit card account, $50,149.46. Money market, $8,592.78. That doesn't change, by the way. Las Morris, $27.29. Restricted fund, $335,248.90. General, $27,152.34. And preservation, $18,225.53. And tax account, $33,946.69.
Sandy,
Yes, ma'am, sir.
just as a teachable moment for me, what is the credit card 50,149.46?
That's our credit card account paying off our credit card.
Okay, so that's how much we sent them,
So that's how much is in there now. Okay. Motel revenue for February, we had 316 motel guests. Total revenue was $12,079. Collections board report. See, payment plan, a regular $3,532. Delinquent notice and memberships, $31,672. Delinquent notices, family recreation memberships, $1,580 for a total of $36,784. We have 15 people on our regular repayment plan, and we've removed one member and we've added a member.
On that report, the delinquent notice, is that what we just sent out to them, or that's what we actually collected?
That's collections. It says collections board.
It says delinquent notice membership, so
Yeah,
that's not what we sent out.
no. Okay. Member services board report. We had lot sales, 0 transfer fee, $300, resale certificate fee, $25 for $325. Okay. All right. That's the treasurer's report. So if any of you have any questions after you read the P&Ls, please don't hesitate to, one of us, contact one of us. If we don't know the answer, we'll find it out from either our auditor or our CPA. Okay. Any questions, guys?
No, ma'am.
You did say something on Matt's report. He said he gave you an expense. Did he give you the expense?
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
we'll wait.
Well, yeah, I won't go over it.
He's gonna do it at the end, okay. Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I move to approve the treasurer's report.
A second.
All in favor? Okay. Next is the president's report. And I'm hoping I don't have to do this very often. Where we're able to hire somebody. It's been a busy month. Mostly what we've been doing is putting out fires. And I know some people are getting impatient, but please realize that we've all been in office less than 2 months and we're still trying to figure out what they did over the last 2 years. So we appreciate your patience and your understanding on this. We'll start with the basics. The general manager position, we received about 30 applications. I think we've all reviewed most of them. Julie Moreno is our HR person, and she's gone through those and pulled out the application that either didn't qualify for the position, and has sent letters to them to let them, saying thank you for applying, but we'll hold your application for some other position. We've not had time to interview this month because of the need to plan 2 board meetings in 1 month. But we're hoping that we can start interviewing next month, depending on how things go with the coronavirus. We have the 5th director as an agenda item. We are not trying to avoid this. We just couldn't really agree on how to choose one. So we're going to discuss that as an agenda item. We had multiple email votes on March 4th. Our operations manager, Philip Garcia, told us that the universal joints had failed on the backhoe. This was an emergency situation because the backhoe is used to cover the trash in the landfill, and that's something we have to do. The joints failed. They dropped the drive line. It damaged the drive line, the yoke, the universal joints. We approved Philip's purchase of $981.59 before tax. He had to go to San Antonio to pick up those parts, and then they had to install them. So the backhoe was down for a few days. Dustin made a good suggestion that they manufacture some sort of sling so if this happens again, that everything just doesn't drop on the ground. Okay, March 2nd, Philip contacted me that someone, we don't know who because the TCEQ does not report names, reported windblown trash from the landfill to the TCEQ, which is the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. They wanted to come out that same day. Philip asked him to wait till the next day, and he did ask for permission to rent a wheel loader, which is a different type of equipment, because we have to cover the trash to a depth of 6 inches. And we couldn't do it with our existing equipment, at least to make up time to do it, since we got behind. So we authorized up to 5 days. He needed only 2 days, at $685 a day to get this done. TCEQ did come out the next day with do an inspection. We were cited, but there are no fines attached to the citations. They were simply warnings, and we have a good reputation with TCEQ. They said this is the first complaint that we've ever gotten, and that Philip was actively correcting the issue that day, and there should be no further action. The third item is that there is some false information circulating out there. A member reported that she had heard that the board was considering an individual, which is actually a special assessment, and in addition to that, an increase in our monthly dues, which is our regular and residential assessments. She found this very disturbing, asked why we would do such a thing when we've only been in office for a short time, and suggested that we shouldn't be giving everything away for free. Well, I responded to her that there's no truth to the rumor. We've been so busy we haven't even discussed this, and we do not review assessments until after the June CPI, Consumer Price Index, comes out. And then we don't get that. It's not posted till like July, and at that point we review the cost of living and whether or not assessment is warranted. So we will even be talking about that until that time, because according to our governing documents, that is how we base any assessment increase. Special assessments are for special needs, and we have not discussed that at this time because we don't quite know what they are, and coronavirus could change everything. So we'll have to wait on that. So I asked her to please go back to the person that told her this and let them know that this is false information, and to please not spread it, because no one benefits from false information. It just discourages people and divides us. If any of you have a question, something doesn't feel right, sound right, ask any of us. We'll let you know what's going on. I'm not trying to hide anything. Okay. The airport roof metal came up. We discussed this by email, and we decided that, well, for one thing, the damage, usually the insurance company will have the first choice at the salvage, since this was a hailstorm. They abandoned the salvage. They left it there. So first choice, first need will go to Philip and Matt for the hunt and for maintenance. After that, we will open it up to members with some sort of restrictions on it. And then after that, if we've got anything left over, we'll try to either sell it or trade metal for removing it from the fort. This is not a high priority item right now. We've got lots of other things to do. So when we get a chance, we will work up an actual plan on how we're going to do this. Okay, Rihanna suggested that we review our owned lots and that we can sell and create a specific sales plan. And since she's the only realtor on the board, what you were talking about, our FCSA lots for sale. You want to do a sales plan? Don't you remember that? Well, you did. Then that would be a good project for you to do.
We're talking about the lot up, I think is what it was.
Well, that, and then you're
Oh,
that
the
and
exec session, no, about how, there's a procedure.
Oh, I know, but you were talking about a sales plan, and we'll discuss it, but it's a good idea to identify the lots that we can sell and come up with a specific sales plan for those lots. And she will be very helpful with this because she's a realtor.
As soon as I know what I'm doing.
Okay, and we added the comments about COVID-19 to our agenda today. And so we'll be discussing that. And Dustin's going to have a little bit more information on the deer hunt. Take over, Dustin.
All right. So our deer hunting season is concluded now. Over the course of our 2019-2020 deer harvest season, we had 251 paid FCSA member hunts and 219 paid non-member hunts. We were able to take off the fort 86 axis doe, 16 spiked axis bucks, 1 small axis buck, 1 medium axis buck, and 3 trophy bucks. We also were able to get off 23 whitetail doe, 1 whitetail trophy buck, and 3 non-trophy whitetail bucks. We harvested 2 turkeys, 2 javelinas, 1 feral hog, 2 bobcats, and 1 coyote. Helps with our predator control. In total, we were able to take off 107 axis deer, 27 whitetail deer, for a total of 470 paid hunts and 134 deer harvested. There have been some accounting irregularities with the processing of the hunt payments. We're trying to figure that out, but we have a rough estimate of somewhere around $80,000 income on them, with approximately $4,500 in expenses that we paid for feed and fuel and stuff like that. That is roughly in line with what the fort has been selling year over year. This report does not count the trapping of the exotic deer, which we hope to commence relatively quickly, get some of those numbers down. I would like to, at some point this year, get the biologist report to present to y'all, because every year we have to do a count, and the biologist tells us how many deer we should be carrying on this property for the amount of forage that's available naturally without supplemental feeding. So once we get that for this year, I will present it to y'all. We have a lot. We have way more than we should have. If, heaven forbid, we get an outbreak of anthrax or blue tongue or any of the other ruminant diseases, it's going to be a problem for our deer population. We'll start finding deer in our yards, and we're trying to prevent that, get the numbers down to biologist recommendations. So that overall is the purpose of our harvest program on the fort. Plus, you know, a lot of our members like to eat these animals. I'm one of them. They're very good. I highly recommend, when you see the dispatches where the hunt managers are offering up to bring you deer, I'd recommend it highly. And that is the hunt report, minus the trapping, which we will hope to finalize the contract, which was approved at last July, I believe. Last July they approved an awarding of a trapping contract to J.J. Ducharme's company, and we're trying to get that hammered out so we can start that process.
Okay, I just have one more comment. The first quarter will end at March 31st, and we will be reviewing the budget in the month of April, as soon as we have all of our expenses recorded for the first quarter. So we can, we didn't prepare this budget. We've located some issues with the budget, neither good nor bad, just issues. And so but we need to have the first quarter expenses posted before we can actually review budget versus expense. Just going to throw that in there. Okay.
On the hunt real quick. So we haven't collected anything on the trapping yet?
No, trapping is paid as they load the traps into the trailers. It's paid per animal.
But have we started that?
No,
Okay, so, because what I'm kind of looking at, because we're making decisions, so I had started on the budget, looking at the budget and the profit and loss. So they're saying the current income should have been 110,000, and I know that it's showing like we made 65, but you're saying we're thinking 80 once all the final figures come in?
right, because our last report didn't include the last month or 2 months, something like that.
So this is supposed to go through February, so it's not including February's totals?
As far as what? The
The
trap?
financials. The financials are go through February, so that's 5 months of the budget.
Right, but evidently they were using different codes to input hunt payments, so there's money floating around somewhere else that should be attributed to the hunt
Okay.
program.
And we don't trap during hunting season.
Right.
Okay, so there'd be no trapping. And we were making, 2 years ago, we were collecting anywhere from a low of about 800 to as high as 2,200 from the trap program. And, but they don't do that because of the hunt. You don't want them in your trap. You want them
Right.
available for the hunters.
Our last trapping venture netted, I want to say it was somewhere just north of $20,000. So
And then
it's a good money maker, and it enables us to get a whole lot of mounts off the fort very quickly at no cost to the fort. You know,
these are access, not
Right.
whitetail.
just the exotics, yes.
Okay, we go on to the committee reports. Airport, anyone here? Okay. Anybody know anything about the airport? Okay. Architectural,
He sent me, Joe sent me a deal, and it's got some stuff other than what I handed you.
okay.
Get into your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Alackness isn't going to be here this morning. He said that the architectural committee will be using dispatch for anything that needs to be reported to members. Okay, so if there's something that architectural needs for everybody to know, they're gonna use dispatch instead of email. But that goes to email, so, but anyway, that's what he wanted me to tell you.
Okay. Golf committee, she's unable to be here today, but she sent me this. The golf committee would like to report that the Lost Moors tournament was a huge success. We had 50 teams of 2, many returning players and many from out of town. And we sincerely appreciated all the volunteers who monitored the holes during play, who served the dinner Saturday night, and the many ladies who baked a variety of desserts for the dinner, all of which disappeared rather quickly. The golf course maintenance crew had the course in great condition for tournament play, and the pro shop staff were all very welcoming for our guests. It was a great weekend, and a good time was had by all. A news article in this week's paper will have a complete list of the winners. And I played in the tournament, and it was well run. We had a lot of fun, and we didn't win, but we came in second. So in our ladies division. Okay. Preservation. Please state your name and
Morning. Morning. It's
Linda O'Brien.
Preservation hasn't had a whole lot going on this month. We've been waiting for the contractor to start the commissary. The weather hasn't been conducive to sanding, staining, repair. That bill's going to be $20,800. I did get a number from Sherry to make sure we were covered. I was a little concerned about the numbers you just read, Sandy, so I'd like to catch up with you.
They're the ones that I got from,
Is there 2 numbers at 18,000 or 1?
there's one number at 18,000.
She told me 40,000.
Okay, well, who's she?
Sherry?
Okay, then we need to get with Sherry and Cindy, because Cindy's the one that does the.
Because that's a problem, obviously.
Well, of course it is. So did you in the last 2 years roll over, you used to have a separate account, did you roll over?
I think they put them together.
Okay,
That's what I think.
okay, we'll find out.
Okay, that's it for preservation. We're waiting for our contractor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, recycling. I just got an email from Helena. They are closing the recycle center for 2 months so that the volunteers can stay home or do whatever they feel is necessary to protect themselves.
Starting immediately.
Starting immediately. Now, I forwarded that on to Philip because it will affect the amount of stuff going into the landfill. Now, cardboard, we are required by state law to collect that, so I'm gonna have to find out what they're gonna do about cardboard. I know, but, oh, don't they put it in recycling first?
No.
Oh, good, thank you. All right. They'll still collect cardboard. Okay, they have to, we don't have a choice in the matter. She'll keep us advised. She said at least 2 months, but let's hope it isn't that long. Okay, anybody from Old Quarry? Okay. All right, Community Council. You were ready to spring, weren't you?
Good morning. I know I came from the back, so it wouldn't take so long. Natanya Watkinson, Community Council President. So I've got several things. I'm going to try and run through these fairly quickly. So I just want to give Fort Clark Days update. We are waiting on the complete final accounting, which we will have at our Community Council meeting in April. But as of right now, the preliminary, we're sitting with about $8,000 in our Fort Clark Days account. We started last spring with under 1,000. So and that's with the majority of our bills paid. I mean, there are a couple of small bills that still need to be paid. Now, that matters because it impacts how much we can give to preservation for buildings and put back into the fort for things. We are also talking about reducing our Fort Clark Days Reserve, which in the past has been $3,500, and we're looking at reducing that to somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. Again, that increases the amount that we can turn around in any given year to give that. So that's the money update on that. Fort Clark Days, we actually have a lot of our committee members coming into Fort Clark Days for this year are staying on for next year and making some shuffling and going into different roles, which is really good because we have some experience there. The current committee chairs are updated now on the fortclarkdays.org site. I don't remember exactly what roles everyone are in. I will tell you I'm Fort Clark Days chair next year. Tiana Johnson is going to be living historian chair and being mentored by Allison Watkinson. I would ask that something going into Fort Clark Days for next year for our younger folks who have the time and ability to volunteer to connect with some of our committee chairs because they are older, and if something happens, we're going to lose a lot of knowledge, a lot of organization that goes into Fort Clark Days. So that way we start to train, if you will, the next generation of folks to take on Fort Clark Days. We are also going to do a photo contest. So we're going to put out, for people who took photos at Fort Clark Days, they can submit photos and we'll get a photo waiver. And first prize we will give $100 to. And that will also go into our marketing for next year. So the goal is to get those announcements out by the end of the month, have submissions done by the end of April, and make a decision on the winner in probably mid-May and start to getting on marketing. That'll be like our button, our t-shirts, and posters. And we'll use images from what others have submitted. So that's all I've got on Fort Clark Days. I do have some member comments and concerns. So laundry facilities at the RV park need to be looked at, reviewed. I guess there are some concerns and issues with the washers and dryers, and they may also not all be working.
Philip requested a new commercial washer for laundry over at the RV park because it was within his authority. Approximately $900 to replace one of the washers. Just came in yesterday afternoon.
Oh.
Let you guys know about it.
Awesome. So a new commercial washer came in yesterday for the RV park, and so within the next few days, no, that's okay. So within the next few days, I anticipate probably be installed, or maybe they put it in yesterday. So fantastic. No TV satellite in the RV park, which of course we've heard as a repeated concern. They also can't get radio signals, or radio signals are weak. I apologize, I don't know much about the radio stations around here because I literally stream. Okay, I was like, 'cause I stream everything. We have lots of things going on in the world, and some folks who are having trouble accessing that, what's going on in the world. It might be a good thing that they're having trouble accessing it. Forget about it for a little bit. And then concerns about the hunting program and and how it's handled, where the hunts happen, and notifications to residents on where hunting happens as it's happening. And so one of the requests, and I understand the hunting program guidelines are being taken a look at, rewritten. I guess that's your purview, Mr. Smith. So one of the things that I would like to ask is, once that's done, is it possible to put that out to membership to take a look at, also to give feedback? Because there was a lot of feedback on the hunting program in our meeting on Saturday. It's too much, but my guess is you're probably looking at and addressing some of those concerns as well, because it's probably stuff that you've heard or are aware of. But that way, it's something that membership can give some feedback on too, if there are any additional concerns or maybe some solutions. And finally, we were kicked out of Shafter the end of January for storage. So, and at one point we paid rent to Shafter back when we had bingo in Shafter Hall in our community council meetings, and then I guess the air conditioner quit working, and so we just kept our stuff stored there. So our stuff was removed. It is literally sitting in a trailer. It is in a trailer on Bob Hendrick's son's place in Unit 37, and that's a borrowed trailer. So we would like to have an opportunity to get storage back on the fort somewhere. Whether it's Shafter, whether it's the basement of Seminole Hall, I don't know that the location necessarily matters, but we would like to have a place to store our supplies and all that. And that is it.
Yeah, that's on executive session. Now, they were, according to the emails that I was able to find, that the reason they had you move it is they were doing some work in there on Chapter Hall. That's
Storage
correct?
of furniture. They stored the motel furniture.
Let's say that's what we were told. We were told it was because they were getting ready to do work.
Yes, that's exactly what the memo says.
Yeah. I'm not aware that any work has started in there. I'm not aware that a contract was ever approved to do work in Shafter, but we were given until literally midnight, January 31st, to get our stuff out of there. And it took 20
Yeah.
volunteers to get out there over the period of that week prior in the evenings to get stuff out of there, loaded up into the trailer, the space and everything cleaned up. We had to take shelves apart and everything. So, I mean, it's a done deal. It is what it is, right? Bygones be bygones. Now we're just looking for somewhere that we can have permanent to store our stuff and.
Okay, doesn't have to necessarily be Shafter Hall, but somewhere.
No, yeah, I mean, there's so much, you guys may be making plans to turn that into some type of income property, and there's work gonna be done, and it doesn't make sense for us to go in there if there's gonna be some work done, so whatever works, it's somewhere that's convenient, preferably on a main level, or where we have at least main level access, because we do have some heavy things, and again, some older people that tend to carry stuff in and out. So that would be my one request, is that we don't have to go up and down a whole bunch of stairs.
Okay, well, we do have that in exec session, and because of the emails involved, so.
Sandy?
Yeah.
Sandy, can I just add that the Preservation Committee is in the process of cleaning out the basement of Seminole Hall, and that it will be available within the next month or so, and they could start now if that's what you decided, but it's going to be cleaned out, swept out, and ready to go, and it is on the ground floor for them.
I
Right,
guess,
That, you know, right where all the food vendors are.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, we go to old and unfinished business. We had set up a discussion for rules and regulations and setting an April workshop date to clean it up a little bit. But with the COVID-19, I don't know if we can do that or not. What do you guys feel on this? This is a discussion. Robert?
The current rules and regulation, I put them side by side, and the old ones are less intrusive than the proposed new ones. The old ones are functioning right now. I would say let's delay that until after we find out if we're all living in 3 months.
Okay, Rihanna?
I'd like to table it until we get a general manager. Our bylaw said that the general manager is supposed to set that up for the board to approve. So I'd like to table it until we get a manager.
Is that a motion?
No, this is
I'm
just a discussion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, I agree for all of those reasons, and in reviewing the new ones, Robert's correct. They are a lot more intrusive, and there were some things in there we were definitely eyeing to change. But the old ones are still in effect. They're the ones that are filed with the county, and so this was just set for discussion. It seems like we all agree. So, okay, and the next one was Dickman Hall, and we already voted on that, and the ice machine proposal. So we figured that the discussion on COVID-19 might take a little while. So I suggested that we go through those approvals for expenses or not first. Do I have a motion to do that?
Do we need one?
Do we need one? I don't.
It's still on the agenda. I don't
Yeah,
think you.
okay. All right, so that would be action item, director and treasurer appointment procedures. We talked about this among ourselves, didn't do any appointments. We considered some membership comments, and we got some. The original list with 4 people remaining on it was a concern to some members because it came from the special meeting. And the appointment of the third vote getter, we had discussion from several members. That's the second option. The third option was to open it up for a short period of time for those 4 members to reapply, basically, if they were still interested. For the third vote getter, if that person was still interested, and for any new people, because frankly, we need a treasurer, and it would be nice if we had some people out there with bookkeeping or other financial experience. So those are the 3 options that we had discussed. We made no decision on which of those options we were going to do. So again, they were, number 1 was to go with the 4 people on the original list, which were
Ketty, Herman.
yeah,
Guzman,
Ketty,
and Rice.
Herman, Guzman, and Race. Mrs. Race, because Mr. Race already resigned. And then Linda O'Brien was the third vote getter. And then that's the second option, and the third option was open it up for a period of time. Basically allow all those people that have already been mentioned to put their name in if they were still interested, and then open it up to other people who may desire to work with the current board. Okay, so do I have a motion as to which option we should take?
I move to solicit volunteers and create a new list.
I second.
Okay, any comments? Robert?
To me, it seems the most fair avenue because there may have been people that did not know or did not want to put their name on the special meeting list. So I think this gives more people the opportunity to serve the association.
Yeah.
I think a new list, and you know, maybe everybody can put their name back on it.
That's it?
Yes, the the happenings in January and February, it created a lot of angst on the fort between a whole lot of parties. There were a lot of people that were very, very vocal in their displeasure about some of the things going on with the old board. This board are really, we're just here to serve the membership. We're trying to smooth things out and make the fort what it should be, and I would hope to see a whole lot of names on the list. There are a lot of people that were very critical of the way things were done before, and I would hope a lot of those people would be willing to come try to help out.
And I agree with all of those. 3 on 3, are you ready to? We'll take 3 members for up to 3 minutes if there are any comments.
Richard Ebert, member for 20-plus years. I would suggest on these members that you're asking to volunteer, that the person that people that submit their names have a strong background in finance, since that's the position you need to fill.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I thought you guys would never see me again.
No, I just was looking for a hand to go up in the air.
Oh, sorry.
Kathleen Warren, first of all, I think we all know the whole atmosphere on the fort has changed. It seems like everybody's happy, the workers are having a good time, weights taken off their head, and we're just bringing everything back. My question is, I agree with the new list, but do you have to put out the ballots again, or can you just appoint them?
We can appoint by both our governing documents and Texas HOA law.
Cool, go for it, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, one more? No? Okay. We'll put it to a vote. We've already seconded it, right? Okay, are we ready for a vote? Okay, do I need to reread or restate the motion? You have it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, do you have it written down?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so third option, okay. The motion was to go with the third option, new list.
Date?
Closing date.
I think it kind of depends on what we decide about the annual meeting under the COVID discussion.
I would just open it for 10 to 14
10 to
days.
14, how about 14 days?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay, do you want to amend your?
Yes, I will move to solicit a new list of members willing to serve on the board. The solicitation will be open as soon as we can get it out, and it will close 14 days from its opening.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Raise your hand. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, let's see. The next one is approval of a sand order for the golf course. The golf committee will pay 50% of the cost. Sand is, and since I'm the only golfer on the board, sand is essential for use on the golf course to bring it into condition after the winter. It's a yearly expense, and it's needed for aeration of the greens and the tee boxes, especially after the Las Moores tournament. And we've been blessed with a little bit of rain, so now it's even more important. The cost of the sand is approximately $1,000, and we won't know that until the actual delivery. But the golf committee, with their funds that they raise through Las Moores tournament and other tournaments, will be paying 50% of whatever that cost is. So the cost to the association will be about $500. Okay. The budget, and we aren't sure because we don't have the expenses, initially was set up to allow $7,000 for supplies. We don't know if they have extended that or not, but if we want to keep the golf course in condition where people want to play it, we have to seriously consider the golf course recommendations. Let's see. It's USGA, United States Golf Association, top dress sand. It's clean sand. They use it to level, repair, plug, and aerate the greens, which has to be done about twice a year. One load is 24 tons. The cost of the sand is $16.25 a ton, or $390. The rest of it is the delivery charge. Okay, the material is cheap. Getting it here out in the middle of nowhere isn't. So, the delivery is $25.40 per ton, or $609 of that. So the price is $999.60, and again, that may change when the tonnage gets here. But again, the golf committee and they will be paying half of whatever we spend. We write the initial check, they write a check to us. Okay, that explains what the sand is for. Do I have a motion?
Well, do we discuss it now?
Oh, I took a motion and then we discuss.
It looks like we paid for your sand
Either way.
seed once already. We paid $400, it looks like almost $500. Did we already do sand prior, or?
Sand and seed is something different.
Sand is once a year, and it's usually at Ocarina Springs. Whenever I was in college during the winter, we didn't have any boat rides to give, so we did this. So it's done in the spring, and it's once a year. They plug them, or they aerate them, creates a small hole. You dump sand in, and then you sweep it or rake it into the holes, and then it produces much better greens.
Yes, and the sand and seed issue is used for patchwork on greens and so forth. You'll notice if you are a golfer and you get out there, you'll see green sand on the greens because it has seed and stuff in it.
So we have 5 months of figures here, so we have the budget. So is there certain times of the month where the golf course actually makes more money? Because right now I'm showing we're about 12,000 short from our budget. You know, like you divide it by 12 months, and we have 5 months. So I'm not really seeing a whole lot of places where we can pull it. I mean, it's like we're already short in our budget for that.
Okay, remember, in the budget, you have to take out the depreciation. Yes, and you have to take out the depreciation. If you take the depreciation and the bad debt out of the budget.
I'm just looking at the golf. There shouldn't be any bad debt.
No, we're talking about the entire amount. There is 300,000, 308.
No, I'm just looking.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Okay, I'm also saying that the golf course loses money. Will always lose.
No,
money.
I know, but we have a budget, and I get it. But for the income and then look at the expenses, but we're short on our income and we're over on our.
Okay, can we find $500? Dustin.
My thoughts on the subject are, this sand is a necessary expense for our golf course every year, every single year. Golf course loses money every single year. It's just the nature of what it is. Costs a lot of money to keep it up. It's an amenity that the fort absolutely cannot lose. So, yeah, I'm okay paying the cost.
Okay, can we have a motion?
I move that we accept the proposal to pay the $500 with the golf club paying an additional $500 to get the sand to maintain the greens.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all right, 3 members, 3 minutes. Who would like, anybody out there? Okay, Mr. Ebert?
I'm appalled that the board has to take time for this type of an item. This should be a part of an annual budget. We know it's going to happen every year, and you're using valuable time in a meeting for this discussion. It's ridiculous.
Anybody else? Okay, and that's true. We did not, and I will remind you, we did not do this budget. And this is part of the reason that we're going to have to review the budget and probably redo it, because there's a lot that wasn't included in there. And $300,000 plus was in the budget as a loss that shouldn't be there. Your budget should be your cash in and your cash out. So we are going to be reviewing it. Okay. Again, the golf committee is paying for half of it. They pay for a lot of stuff that goes on at the golf course. Okay. All right, we've got a motion